All right, how about we go to round second and third? So 2 and 3, our favorite picks in round 2 and 3, and Coach, you lead us off.
Well, I have to go with the Buffalo Bills. The first pick of day 2 is prime because you have all night to think about it. You're going to get every phone call from everybody who's trying to trade up. You get almost 24 hours to examine those deals. Is it worth it or is it not? They said, you know what? We've got to replace that production we lose from Stephon Diggs. This is our guy, Keon Coleman. He did it at Florida State. He's a productive guy. And they examined this. That's the guy they wanted. Said, hey, the phone, it doesn't matter. We're not taking any calls. We're taking this guy. I believe he's going to be very productive with Josh Allen.
Coach, big, a 50, you throw the ball up, those 50-50 balls, he goes and get it. The one negative, they try to say that he doesn't create separation, but when you're jumping over people at 6'4", 225 pounds, what separation do you need? But I think this was a legitimate pick from him. And he's on a rookie deal, like you talked about. For me, I'm looking at McConkey, the wide receiver from the University of Georgia. When you watch him, to me, he's just so impressive because he's so steady and just very consistent. He'll come across the middle. He's a lot bigger and stronger and faster than what he looks. And this is going to be a guy that really makes an impact. I can see him coming in this year for the Chargers, having 60, 65 catches, maybe 850 yards, and maybe 4 touchdowns. He's going to be a problem. McConkey is a really good player. I'm really excited about him.
I'm with you. Creative route runner, too. I mean, so many times I could remember watching a replay of his route, and you go, man, that's advanced. He's creating more space than your typical route runner. He's got some speed to him, which is deceptive. I'm going to go Rook or row. And that's how you say it. It's like row your boat from, from down to Atlanta. So if you're going to go round 1 and pick another quarterback when you already signed Cousins, in round 2, you better get better. But the rest of your roster better get improved. And I think what the row it did, he was down there in the Clemson defensive line rooms with a lot of guys that are playing in the NFL. And since his freshman year, he stood out. He just athletically stood out and then improved throughout. So in the second round, I like the value of this pick. And I like that they went pass rusher because when you start looking at their roster, they need it, even with the guy like Grady Jarrett starting to age.
And Jack, go ahead,
Coach.
You mentioned something there about being at Clemson. I've visited Clemson a lot in the last 3 or 4 years, and there's some places that just turn out positions. Clemson, that defensive line room is special. They get trained. They compete hard against one another. And this guy is ready to compete in the NFL, no doubt about it.
He'll learn a lot from Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is a pro, and he'll help him out. He'll bring him along, no doubt.
Let's go back to Coach.
Well, I'm going to go down to the Rams, and I love the pick of Blake Corum. Big-time running back from a big-time program. And the Rams, think of their Super Bowl. Okay, yeah, we think Sean McVay and Matt Stafford throwing the ball around, but they had that 1-2 punch at running back, ran the ball really, really well that year with Sony Michel and Henderson. They've got Kyron Williams, who is this same type of slasher, tough guy, physical. I think Corum is going to fit right in, give him that second running back to take a little pressure off Kyron and help Sean McVay call those running plays, dial up some more runs.
Coach, I think you're absolutely right. Blake is a dog. He is tough. He is physical, and he's going to be a great, valuable backup. For me, I'm looking at Cooper DeJean, the safety from Iowa. And I won't even call him a safety. I'm just going to call him a defensive back because when I watch him play, he reminds me so much of Minkah Fitzpatrick when he was at the University of Alabama, playing in that slot position, but very capable of moving back at safety. This kid is a fantastic athlete, probably the best athlete in the secondary, but he's gonna bring that presence. He can play over the slot, he can play out wide. One thing that you have to pay attention to him is just improving that man-to-man coverage. But overall, this guy, you add Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay. Now you start to get some playmakers back there, and their secondary was a big problem. We know about their linebackers, but now Howie Roseman, they made a concerted effort to fix that secondary, and they've done it with some great players.
I'm so with you on that, Rod. When I heard that he fell to them after they already took Quinyon in the first round, and then they circle back. A lot of GMs wouldn't do it just because it's, hey, we already picked one. Let's not. He was willing to do it, and I think he understands the value of corner. And if you can really find somebody that can lock you down and be a difference maker, it's worth it. And he is. I mean, I remember we did an Iowa game out there, and he was just the best player that they had. And in the game that we did, they had a great receiver on the other side. We're talking to the defensive coordinator before the game, and he, for the most part, was staying on one side, and he wasn't moving around to follow the best receiver. But in our game, they did follow him around. And the way that he locked him down and just eliminated him shows you that he can. And this was a smaller, kind of a quick step, put him in the slot, put him outside receiver, and he just followed him everywhere and took him out of the game. So to me, he's an under-recruited guy that really nobody's radar that he was on. He was a star at Iowa, and he continues to rise. And from a personality standpoint, you're not going to find him better. So what they found with Mitchell in round 1 and then him in round 2, personality and game, I just think they hit big.
Yeah, if he goes to university,
right.
Coach, if he goes to Alabama, he's a top 18 pick if he goes to Alabama. But because he went to Iowa, now he falls into the second round.
No, you're right. And I love what Jack said. They had a need there. Both of you guys hit it. Philadelphia's secondary did not perform last year. And so, hey, let's go out and attack that need and stack it up, and let's get some guys in there to compete.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to stay on a similar thing with mine. I'm going to go Kalen Bullock, who's a guy that we talked about before the draft that I thought could really be a difference maker for somebody. He's a safety that we were mentioning, long, like we see with the Baltimore. Kyle Hamilton, yeah, exactly. And they get him in the 3rd round, 78th overall. He runs faster than Kyle Hamilton, will hit you. But for Houston, he's going to be a turnover guy, in my opinion. They're going to get, to Coach's point, some leads. They're going to have some chances for some interceptions and some turnovers. And Kalen Bullock, I think, for the next 10, 12 years, will be a legitimate safety in this league. And in the 3rd round, I like where they got him, too.
And you can pair him with Jalen Petrie and then Derek Stingley Jr. Do you see the type of young secondary that they're building? And it's a very inexpensive secondary. It's not like they're paying a guy $20 million in that secondary. So right. Very smart move by DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah, you kind of see the kinds of players DeMeco's going after. These guys who are versatile and tough and love to play football and can do a lot of different things. I think they're building a great foundation there.
Yeah, I'm
going to go to a pick. Slightly after that, Jack, last pick of the 3rd round in Washington, Luke McCaffrey. Okay, we all know the last name. Yep. I think he's going to do some good things there. A slot receiver. They got Terry McLaurin. They got Dotson, but they can play this young man in the slot. We know he's got work ethic. He's tough. He's got good hands. And he's coming in with a young quarterback, a chance to build that chemistry, work out together. And I just think, I think they hit on one here. They're going to get a productive player that's going to play a long time and add to what they're trying to build there.
Tough, smart, like his dad, Ed McCaffrey, who I played against. For me, it's linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, best linebacker, off-ball linebacker in all of college. You watch him, the thing that stands out is just his speed. From sideline to sideline, the guy's a tackling machine. He can cover. He's got great instincts. And when you lose Devondre Campbell because he's gotten a little older, some injuries, to replace him with a guy like that is huge. Now you can add Quay Walker on the side and continue to build that secondary, all the guys that they've added on the defensive side of the ball. You cannot lose with him. This kid was the best linebacker in all of college football. Very excited for him.
And is that about when you'd be thinking about taking a linebacker round-wise? Everybody seems to be going to this positional value, right? Tackles, and you see the run on cornerbacks. And is that about when linebacker, running back makes sense to you, team building wise, or how do you think about that?
Coach, I think that's to you.
Well, to me, you got to get great players, and these guys that are versatile, that can do different things and can play in different situations. That's what you're looking for. So. I never mind taking these guys. If you got a playmaking linebacker and you got to take him in the top 10, I'm fine with it because these guys can win games for you.
Okay, I like it. Well, I'm going to go a running back, which is same team, though, also to Green Bay, and it's Marshawn Lloyd. And this is a team that just lost Aaron Jones. And so they lost that speed pass catcher option. And he basically is that. I don't want to say he's Aaron Jones off the bat, but from a skill set standpoint, he's somebody that can get to that second level and third level of the defense fast. And that's what he did at USC. It was just speed. So they found somebody that I think can be game breaking and pair with some of the power that Dillon provides in that backfield, and they needed it. I think they needed that Jones. If you're going to lose Aaron Jones, you need somebody to replace what he did, and I think they found that with Lloyd. So I'll go back-to-back Green Bay there with good picks round 2 and 3, Rodney's pick and now Lloyd.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.